guys. They believe he's the best player in their squad, and they think that he's the guy who can help them win things this season.
Well, it's been a long process getting Gonzalo Guedes into the starting lineup, but on form and fit. A player who more or less went without a pre-season. It's good to see him back in the starting lineup for probably Valencia's biggest game of the season so far, although of course...
And it's Bagikan with the finish. Barcelona's defence caught wrong-footed from the corner, the first corner in the first minute of the game. And it was Bagikan with the determination in the 6-yard box just to get some contact onto the ball. Ter Stegen looking tremendously disappointed. Marcelino not showing any emotion at all. The corner whipped in by Guedes. It came off the back, I think, of Gerard Piqué there.
Yeah, the key thing is that Vermaelen completely misjudges what he's doing, and this has become since Unthue first put Luis Suarez front of the 6-yard area in all free kicks and corners. There is the Uruguayan attack, and if Vermaelen has gone front to go with Condovia, makes a jump as inept as it was in the defeat against Leganés, completely bamboozles his colleagues and the keeper. Garay's momentum takes him in. I'm not thinking that's Garay, the number 9, Garay, the born striker. He was just on the run there, and Vermaelen is culpable for the second time in 2 starts this season.
No question of offside there, with the ball coming to Garay off the back of Gerard Piqué.
Agreed. And the statuesque position of the Blaugrana, which normally allows commentators or analysts to think, I wonder if they're waiting for a flag, was simply they were so surprised because they thought that was Suarez's ball. Condobia's run drew Vermaelen with him. Big error of judgment and timing by Vermaelen.
Well, what a start for Valencia. It's 1-0, not even 3 minutes on the clock, not even 2 when the goal went in. And Barcelona needs some time on the ball to settle down. Leo Messi's first touch to play it back to Gerard Piqué. He picks out Arthur. Arthur to Jordi Alba. Well, both teams with huge games last week in UK, in England, and both teams doing pretty well out of it. Valencia, of course, getting a 0-0 draw from Old Trafford against Manchester United. To many observers, perhaps deserved a little better. As Jordi Alba wins the throw, that one coming off Piccini's knees, and it's a touch.
It bears mentioning, Simon, that this is set up perfectly for Valencia because in character, in athleticism, in tactics, they're a counter-attack team. They don't normally like to play that way at Mestalla. The fans urge them on, but now they can sit, tempt Barca in and try to hit on the break.
Semedo back to Rakitic, inside to Busquets. He turns, finds Arthur. Arthur first time back to Busquets, who in turn finds Philippe Coutinho. Wide to Jordi Alba. Alba pauses, trying to get away from Piccini. Returns it to Coutinho. Very, very solid mass of white shirts between the ball and the goal defended by Neto. Semedo on the ball finds Rakitic. Rakitic inside to Busquets. Busquets to Arthur. Arthur first time out to Coutinho again. Sticking with him, Carlos Soler. Gerard Piqué picks out Jordi Alba. Alba, a former Valencia player, of course. Always getting a hostile reception from the Mestalla faithful. That one's cleared by Gabriel Paulista. Batshuayi under it, so too is Vermaelen. Parejo finding Condovia. A lovely touch from Condovia to Batshuayi. It's collected by Gayat. Gayat down the line for Gonzalo Guedes to chase. He gets away from Piqué. Cuts it back. Gamedo in the centre, back to Batshuayi. Soler free. And on the end, it's across the face of the goal from Batshuayi. What play from Guedes to get away from both Semedo and Gerard Piqué with one touch of the ball off his forehead.
Yeah, that flash of colour you're going to watch here running across Guedes is Piqué misjudging. A lovely little header down by the Portuguese, but the cutback, the layoff between Gameiro, who's forging a partnership with the Belgian, and because Batshuayi is not, it's not floats like a butterfly, stings like a bee with his feet, he does the sensible thing. Even though it looked clumsy, he set himself up to be able to put it near target.
Didn't have the vision to see the arrival of Soler, who had a moment's freedom there. Straight back out to Parejo. He controls, looks up, drives it in low. Kondogbia trying to go one beyond the reach of Marc-Andre ter Stegen. It's just beyond the reach, or beyond the post there, as Guedes goes down and stays down. Valencia could so easily be 2-0 up.
Well, I tell you what's up. Their tails are up in terms of belief, in terms of the passing, in terms of first touch.
Look at the space for Kondogbia there.
The space for Kondogbia is big, but for the second time now, I failed to see whether there was a connection between. Now, there you are. It's not the connection between him and Coutinho. I didn't think there was a foul. I think it's his left leg, and I think that's a groin. I hope it's a groin pain rather than a groin problem. If a player's muscle inside his thigh is overly stretched like that, it can actually be a matter of weeks to recover. Let's hope it's just extended rather than torn or strained. He's obviously in some considerable pain, I'm certain. Here's the effort whereby the run is misjudged by Vermaelen. He gets there late, he's despairing in his touch. Piqué has been put off because his colleague has flicked it on at him, and therefore his intention, his eye to ball, like where this is going to land, is left looking foolish when it wasn't because of Vermaelen's action. Guedes' movement is, when he shakes his head, it's tough for us to say, is that saying, no, I'll be fine, or no, there's no chance. Very ginger on his feet, and the game would benefit hugely. Never mind Valencia's if he could continue.
Well, we'll see in a moment as he wanders off the pitch or limps off the pitch for treatment. Meanwhile, Marc-Andre ter Stegen puts the ball back in play. Gerard Piqué finds Rakitic. Valencia momentarily down to 10 men. Gameiro going to press. Messi plays it square to Vermaelen, who puts it directly into touch. Applause from Jordi Alba, but I mean, he could have been joining the Mestalla fans applauding with a certain amount of irony for that one.
Maybe some system gremlin heard me talking about last season, how Vermaelen impressed us with his reliability, with his talent, with his ability to step into the team and carry his weight, when tonight he has not.
Soler on the ball, gets away from Busquets and Rakitic with a certain amount of ease. It's got Gameiro ahead of him. Gameiro in the box, as well defended by Semedo. Gameiro hesitating momentarily there, Graham.
He had the chance, Simon. Every striker is taught, if you're in front of a defender, he had a chance to cut across Semedo and either get the clear shot or offer Semedo the opportunity to dive in and maybe commit a penalty. I'm not sure whether the Frenchman cut back there.
Rakitic to Sergio Busquets. In turn, he finds Artur. Artur directly to Jordi Alba. Wins a throw-in. That one came off Piccini once more.
Should we explain the jeering for Alba is that he was rejected by Barcelona's academy for being too small, went to Cornellà, a local Catalan team, was picked up and played anything from winger, wing back, second striker at Valencia through the academy and the club, and went in 2012 from this club for only 15 million. What a bargain by Andoni Zubizarreta, then the sports director of Football Club Barcelona.
Artur on the ball. Short pass to Coutinho. Takes on Soler. It's good work from Soler. The ball ends up at the feet of Gerard Piqué. Turn, he finds Semedo. Inside to Leo Messi. It's a good touch from Kondogbia. Messi does enough to find Artur. Semedo making a run. Artur instead square to Rakitic. Back to the Brazilian. Picks out Philippe Coutinho. Gets into the area. Plays it wide to Alba, who cuts it straight back, and Parejo's waiting. Kondogbia over the top. Busquets got a touch and managed to find Vermaelen when Batshuayi was in a bit of space. Rakitic to Busquets. Gives it straight to Kondogbia. Parejo to Gaya.
Simon,
and into touch.
It was no coincidence that Dani Parejo was standing where Alba centred, nor was it that there were two men Kondogbia intercepted right in front of the penalty box. All week Barcelona has been talking about the anti-Messi plan, where people help each other and stand in the passing channels, and that's the end. That's definitively the end of Gibbs tonight.
Yeah, you could see, I mean, he snuck back onto the pitch, but clearly struggling, and he didn't really want to go for that short pass, but the effort he made, well, as you said, absolutely clear. There's the
stretch, Simon. There, right there, where the left knee doesn't move along the pitch. it's a part punishment for not having a pitch whose surface is soaking wet, because you can see the left knee utterly jars and stops. Definitely extended a groin muscle there. I'm troubled because this game would have benefited from the absolute beauty of his play. We're going to see Denis Cheryshev, who is enterprising, fast, who scored a wonderful header against Levante in the derby, had a superb World Cup. There we're seeing the moment when everybody except for Garay is bamboozled. Well done, Kondogbia. If he doesn't make the front post run, the goal doesn't come on. You can't say that Cheryshev is a pale imitation of Gedge, but Gedge is special, and this game with 11 minutes gone is lost to start.
Well, Cheryshev got an assist last weekend for Kevin Gameiro, as you pointed out, did so well for Russia in the World Cup over the summer. Still remembered by many of us in La Liga Santander as the man who perhaps indirectly cost Rafael Benitez his job as manager of Real Madrid a few seasons ago
by playing ineligibly in the cup.
Ball put in, Gameiro knocks it back to Batshuayi. Well blocked by Ter Stegen. The striker will be a little bit disappointed he didn't strike that perhaps higher and more towards the corner, giving Marc-Andre Ter Stegen every advantage to block it. But once again, Barcelona split wide open by the pace of Valencia on the counter. Here's Leo Messi. After quick to find Rakitic. As you've often commented, Graham, seeing Artur there in the midfield for Barca, it doesn't look wrong, does it?
It's although he's young and he's learning, he's imperfect. What it looks like is he's grown up in La Masia. His use of space, his timing of runs to support his colleagues, his fearlessness about when he shows for the ball, and there's a blossoming partnership with Busquets because they understand each other's football. Early days, but he's got the right stuff.
It's also about waiting as long as you can. If you're not going to make the first time pass, waiting until the press is right on top of you so you can leave a man out of action when you make the pass, and he's showing that ability. Busquets finds Semedo. Now Leo Messi, back to Rakitic. Semedo combining with Luis Suarez. This is Rakitic. Suarez again. Now Busquets. Arthur. Gets the return ball from Jordi Alba. Can't see a way forward. Place it back to Gerard Piqué. Arthur again.
Talk about a contrast of styles. This is patient and reasonably intelligent by Football Club Barcelona, but Valencia unperturbed at the moment.
Messi, the rebound came to Batshuayi. It's won back by Coutinho. Messi bursts through. Parejo was there. The rebound falls nicely for Alba. Step over from Coutinho. Messi looking for the 1-2. And he will be penalised for clattering into Carlos Soler. I don't know how he could have avoided that.
But kudos to Soler again, because even though there was a little dummy there by Coutinho and an attempt at a wall pass between him and Messi, Valencia have practiced really hard. Not simply about can you mark Messi, can you tackle Messi, but can you block the channels into which his favourite players like to play the ball for him. So at the moment, with 15 minutes gone, it's not simply the 1-0 lead that's interesting. It's the fact that so far Marcelino's instructions to his troops are being carried out really smartly.
Gabriel playing the ball out to Gaia. It's played back inside to Jeffrey Kondogbia. Neto. Batshuayi battling with Milan. Very nearly gave it away to Suarez. Paulista was in there firmly and quickly. Artur turning away from the press coming from Kevin Gameiro.
And then walking right across Gameiro to make sure that he couldn't go and press again. Just little things that this guy has learned that we were used to seeing from Xavi. He's not of the same ilk as Xavi, a genius. But he's a facsimile, and that's rare.
Piqué to Semedo. 15 minutes gone. It's still 1-0 to Valencia. Has been since the first minute. Rakitic, lovely ball for the overlap from Semedo. Semedo cuts. It's intercepted. It'll come to him once more. Leaves it to Rakitic. Valencia have been able to retain their shape. Semedo again. Here's Rakitic. Square to Artur. Semedo. Rakitic is patient from Barcelona. Picks out Jordi Alba. First time to Coutinho. Soler sticking to him. Busquets in there, firm challenge by Parejo that just clipped. Busquets. Coutinho appeals for offside and the whistle goes. The flag up.
Do you know something? I absolutely back what you're saying about the patience. And Barcelona are largely controlling possession high up the pitch and passing quite neatly to one another. But I think there's another factor which was so lacking in the sort of 20-minute period when Girona got a 2-2 draw at the Camp Nou, and specifically when at Bataki, Barcelona were beaten 2-1 as we look at Batshuayi's shot saved well by the German, first time clasp. It's the intensity and the confidence and the belief. There are remnants of Wembley in how they're passing, how they expect to open Valencia up. It hasn't happened yet. Valencia lead, let's take nothing away from Los Che. But Valverde will be pleased with the chispa, the spark that he sees in his team.
Thomas Vermaelen picks out Jordi Alba. Artur offering the short pass forward. Instead, it's back to Vermaelen. He plays square to Busquets. Now Piqué. Suarez first time to Messi. Great footwork from Kondogbia. It's a lovely ball from Parejo. It's a chase for Cheryshev. Keeps the ball in play. Looks up. There's danger here. Crosses a poor one. Is cleared by Piqué only as far as Kondogbia. Parejo. Piccini. Jordi Alba in his way. Tries to go round him. Plays it back to Carlos Soler. Here's Parejo. Now Kondogbia. First time out to Gaya. Cheryshev. Paulista called by Suarez. Suarez trying to catch Neto on the wrong foot. Cheers from the Mestalla fans. But I think it was probably a decent idea from Suarez. He's got Messi inside him in lots of space. Saw the keeper well off his line. If he'd hit the target, Neto might have been struggling.
Whether you like it or I like it or Valverde likes it, what we know between the relationship, not just friendship, but also footballing between Messi and Suarez, he's got the great man's blessing to try that. Messi understands that Suarez, although his goal rate has dropped, is special. They're special as a partnership. He's special as a striker. His goal rate over the piece at Barcelona is incredible. And if you never try things like that, then special things don't come off. Messi won't turn and blame the Uruguayan for that attempt.
Jordi Alba on the ball for Barcelona. He finds Coutinho inside to Arthur. Busquets. Ivan Rakitic. Now Semedo. Rakitic again. Busquets. Vermaelen. Barcelona still to cross the halfway line. Leo Messi tries to get away from Cheryshev. And Gamedo floats one forward towards Jordi Alba. It's absolutely perfect in terms of weight and length. Coutinho. It's well defended by Carlos Soler, and the home fans applaud the work of the Valencia number 8. Arthur. What a ball that was, though, from Messi to Jordi Alba. This time, his attempted flick forward to Suarez is blocked by Kondogbia. Gamedo quick to find Gaya. Gaya, well, I think he was looking for Cheryshev. Just pushed the pass a little bit to the right, and it was dealt with. Vermaelen. Now Alba. Arthur. Oh, and it's a poor one there from Garay. Coutinho. Arthur. A lovely turn. Back to Coutinho. Coutinho. Here's Rakitic. Leo Messi. Tries a shot. Well, blocked by Neto. Well worked move from Barcelona, taking advantage of Garay's hesitation there.
It's funny because Valencia have been so clean, so tidy, so remorseless in doing the right thing time and again. And although that shot is grasped fairly easily by the Brazilian ex-Juventus player, Garay held his head back and howled at the moon at just a minuscule mistake.
It's Garay winning the ball back off Suarez. Gameda battling and getting the better out of Rakitic. He's got options here. The ball got away from him a little bit and Semedo was there to intercept. Just one poor control from Gameda and the counter-attack breaks down. Busquets finds Messi. Messi over the top for Suarez. Suarez goes down.
My.
And the referee gives a goal kick.
You know, at first look, from this distance, it looked like a penalty. But when Luis Suarez isn't up there, sort of holding his hands together, a bit spin manacled and painting a picture of why it's a penalty, if he doesn't make a fuss, then it's wholly unusual. It's outside the area, I think, and VAR is coming in because to you and I, unless I'm wrong, Simon, it